He is the founder of Upper Cervical Chiropractic of Monmouth, located in Marlborough. He has overseen more than 160,000 patient visits in nearly 14 years.
Wow.
He is well respected in the profession, more specifically the upper cervical community. He regularly attends and speaks at upper cervical seminars, and he is also a consultant for several upper cervical practices throughout the country. He is an active board member for QSM3, which is the upper cervical technique that we utilize in our own practice. Dr. Arbeitman travels and teaches all over the country to colleagues, students, and general public. Tonight he'll be highlighting several key points from his book, The Gift of Hope, The Path of Healing Through Upper Cervical Care. It is my great honor to introduce my mentor and good friend, Dr. Larry Arbeitman.
I just did this exact event 2 weekends ago in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for a practice. And as I'm landing there, I'm like, you know, for people to accept the message, they got to accept the messenger. And what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? It was so easy. I just went to the bookstore and got a Michigan hat and put it on for my talk. But my wife was also an alumni, so that kind of helped too. And what's amazing about being here tonight, I'm back with my people in New Jersey, you know? So I feel at home, and it's great to be with all of you. And we're going to have some fun tonight. Obviously, we have to talk about health and healing, and we're going to do that too. So there'll be times where it's serious, there'll be times where it's funny. There's a couple patients that are going to share their experiences, which are phenomenal, and I'm so appreciative that they're even willing to do so. By a show of hands here, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. By a show of hands here, how many people want to be healthy and happy?
All of us.
Awesome. So we all have something in common. Like we're, you know, amongst new friends, but we all. Now wait. By a show of hands here, how many people have a birthday? Now, if that's awesome. If it's not your birthday today, I want you to shut your ringer off on your phone. That way, if your phone rings, we'll know to sing happy birthday to you. What's your name? Marley. It's Marlene's birthday. We won't embarrass her yet. Okay? Leave your phone on, Marlene, okay? When it rings, we'll do it. Okay. So, you may be thinking, why a dinner? Why a chiropractor? Why a chiropractic dinner? I will tell you, as I alluded to before, that this event has changed the lives of so many people in my short 15 years of practice. And many of the people that are here tonight as patients came into our practice by an event just like this. And I do believe that we save lives in our office with the chiropractic adjustment. And I know that may feel like a bold statement or a stretch to some of you, but I don't mean we save lives like, God forbid, there was an accident out on Route 9 and you're going to bring that person in here and I'm going to adjust them and their arm's going to grow back. Like, it's not emergency medicine, but we save lives in a much different way, in an immeasurable way. There was an event we were doing probably about 9 or 10 years ago with about twice as many people in the room, and just picture this, a mother named Pat gets up. I'm going to try to hold back my, we're just getting going, I'm ready to cry. Pat gets up, and she's telling the story about her daughter, Stephanie, and her recovery in Upper Cervical Care. See, I was a new practitioner. My first year of practice, I met Stephanie. She was a high school gymnast at Freehold Township, grade A student, lots of friends, had everything going for her. She was out to the movies with her friends and literally couldn't move her arms or legs. She went paralyzed in her seat. They rushed her up to Robert Wood Johnson. They ran the battery of exams, and they came back with a diagnosis of Guillain-Barré syndrome. That diagnosis was wrong after, sometimes they are. Because Guillain-Barré syndrome is going to end up with respiratory failure and death. And then they were like 12 years later, the diagnosis was wrong. And, but she was left with such chronic pain and fatigue that she had to be homeschooled. She couldn't go to gymnastics. She got the movement in her arms and legs back, but she was left with chronic spasms, fatigue, and she was 16 years old. And here I am, I don't know, maybe I was like 26 or 27, a new practitioner, and now it's go time. And we started taking care of Stephanie, and she didn't just get her health back like we adjusted her and poof, she went back to school. It was a process, like most things with our bodies are, a process. And she slowly started to come back to herself. I remember when she was able to go back to the gym and just watch practice, when she was able to get back to school, when she was able to start to tumble. And I'll never forget the day she walks through the front door of the office and she goes, Dr. Arbeitman, I did giants. Who knows what giants are? So now here we are, like I said, 10 years later, and Stephanie, not only did she go back to high school, but she graduated from college, and then she has her master's in speech therapy from Seton Hall, and she lives in Jersey City, and she's married, and she literally comes down to our office for maintenance care every 2 weeks to this day. Her mom used to drive her in high school, now she's an adult. And the day that she got married, she came down to Monmouth County, picked up her dress, got her adjustment, and got married. And I tell you this story for 2 reasons. That's a life saved. Would she have gone down that path? Would she have got her career back? Would she have met this man? One day she'll hopefully be, if she wants to be a mother, if she hadn't found out about upper cervical. And every day I go to the office, I think about how many more Stephanies don't find out about what we do. The other piece of this is that I didn't heal Stephanie. I'm not smart enough and I'm not talented enough to heal anybody. The definition of healer is the person that's next to the person at the time that they heal. We're going to talk about healing. And in the next 20 minutes, we're going to talk about how Stephanie healed. There's other ways that we save lives in our practice, and this is a very serious conversation because I know it affects a lot of people in this room or people you love. Opioids. You ever hear that word? I've been talking about this for a very long time, and obviously it's hit the headlines more recently. But here's the cold, hard facts. 183,000 of our fellow Americans have died in the last 16 years, according to the CDC, due to prescribed opioid overdose. Not some they bought on the street, like some like they went to Walgreens and bought. 183,000, these aren't like homeless people. These are like mothers and husbands and dads and sisters and aunts, Americans. This is 3 times the amount of people that died in Vietnam. Died from opioids. And I don't have a horse in that race. Like, I'm not for medicine or against medicine. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't really know the first thing about medicine. But what I do know is we take care of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patients in our practice every month. And we don't have anybody, 0, taking opioids in our practice. And I'm proud of that because I believe we're saving lives. I believe that some people came in on opioids and were able to get off of them. Our last patient got off of opioids. It was, 2 weeks ago? Michelle was on opioids for 6 years, and we cried together when she said, I've been off for 30 days now. And I also believe that we've kept people from that trajectory because unfortunately we take care of patients who have some advanced changes in their spine. So it's a remarkable thing. And I think, what if those 183,000 neighbors of ours knew what you're about to find out? So this talk tonight may not be for you. It may be for somebody else that isn't even here this evening. So just listen with your hearts. So, upper cervical care is the greatest secret in healthcare. And it shouldn't be. And again, there's a Walgreens and a CVS in every corner, facing each other. But unfortunately, if there's 68,000 chiropractors in the world, there's only about 1,500 upper cervical doctors. So we'll talk about why that may be and why this is a specialty. This isn't the crack, pop, and twist type of chiropractic. But before we talk about chiropractic and upper cervical and how it may help you or is helping you if you're under care, we have to talk about health, because the first question I asked is, who wants to be healthy? And you all raise your hands. So how many people in here believe that it's possible to be healthier 5 years from now than you are today? By show of hands. Awesome. How many people are actually healthier today than they were 5 years ago? Awesome. Now, if I went around the room, and I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot yet, Marlene. If I ask those people how they changed their health, it's typically they made some sort of lifestyle change. It usually isn't, I found this amazing doctor, or I had this surgery, or I had this procedure done, or I found this miracle drug. It's usually I gave up smoking, I lost 50 pounds, I got under chiropractic care, started exercising more regularly, I finally left him. So it's some sort of lifestyle. You laugh, but this is how we change our lives. We look in the mirror and we change ourselves. We don't look outside and say, where's the answer, where's the answer? Usually health comes, it's a shedding process. It's like a hot air balloon. You just got to dump the weight off the side and it goes up. And so, how do you know if you're healthy? Who has the definition of health? And if you've been here 8 times, Holly, you can't answer. Now, in all seriousness, how do you know if you're healthy? We all want it. It's the most important thing that we have. We would give up that Mega Millions ticket for our health. Right? You would, because what good would it be, right? It's true. How do you know if you're healthy? This is the English-speaking crowd, right? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in the right room. How do you know if you're healthy?
You feel good.
You feel good. Thank you, Meg. So typically that's what I'll hear. And how many people here want to feel good? I want to feel good. I want my friends to feel good. I want my patients to feel good. I want my family to feel good. But I got a secret. It has nothing to do with your health. Huh? Well, think about it. Cancer, heart disease, strokes, hypertension, diabetes. These are all terrible health conditions, and they don't have any symptoms. These people feel good until they get a test done and they're told they should feel bad. Or it's so advanced that they do end up starting to feel bad. So on the flip side, you ever get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe on the corner of the bed? It's like the worst pain in the world. You're like this, and you're like, oh, now I'm up. You feel terrible in that moment. Or if someone breaks a bone, but it doesn't mean that you've lost your health. But we're duped kind of into thinking like, oh, you take this pill. Remember the Allegra commercial when there were like commercials? You take this pill and you're going to run through the flowers and you're going to feel good. And then you get your health back. Health has nothing to do with how you feel. So then people will say, well, if I'm not sick, I'm healthy. Well, would you rather be rich or just not poor? Smart or just not dumb? Would you rather be pretty or just not ugly? Would you rather be healthy or just not sick? You see, there's a continuum here with illness here and wellness here. And the thing that's obvious is if you're alive, you're on this continuum. But what's less obvious, whether you like it or not, you're either moving one way or another. Nothing alive is staying static and still. So right between illness and wellness is what I call not sick or false wellness. This is where people are coasting. These are the people like, hey, how you doing? I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Until they're not fine. So each and every day, we've got to be taking actually deliberate, planned action steps to move us towards health. It's not going to happen by happenstance. Like, would you leave your child's education to happenstance? We'll just see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. They're fine. No, you have a plan. You have a plan, like from the second they show up on this planet, you have a plan for their education. What's your plan for your health? Is it to show up at your doctor's office once a year and get some blood work done? Did that doctor take you to dinner? I told you there'd be a couple laughs. Can I take my jacket off? Just my jacket.
Yes.
Okay. So, Dr. Larry, if health isn't about how I feel and it's not about feeling not being sick, then what is health? Well, let's ask the medical dictionary. According to Dorland's, health is a complete state of mental, physical, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and/or infirmity. Nothing about pain in there. Who has a complete state of mental, physical, and social well-being? Nobody's hands go up except Greg. Greg's my peanut gallery. It's this utopian definition, kind of like education. Do we all have a level of health, thank God, that's greater than people in ICU right now? Yeah. Could we all have a level of health that's greater than it is today? Yeah. So it's a spectrum. You don't wake up one day healthy, but I got a secret. You also don't wake up one day sick. They're both processes. And so, according to Webster's, health is when 100% of your organs are functioning at 100% of the time. So we can't do anything about organs that have been removed. We can't do anything about the time that has come and gone. The key factor to health is function. When your body is doing what it's supposed to do, when it's supposed to do it, you are healthy. And when it's not, you're not. When it's not adapting to what's happening around it, you have less in health. So the health is adapt. If it gets to be 20 below zero out there, the thermostat detects that, this room, the heat kicks on, and the internal homeodynamics or homeostasis of this room stays well. But if that doesn't kick on, it becomes very unhealthy here very quickly. We never blame the thermostat, we always blame the weather. Right? So what system in the body is responsible for the body's ability to adapt? This is the answer part. The brain, exactly, the central nervous system. Can I get a vote for that awesome brain gentleman in the back there? Because I don't even know him, but he's awesome. Awesome. Bob Barker just went into the hospital, so I got to take over here. Okay? Can someone hand this over to this gentleman? Awesome. So, so we want to be healthy. We've now established that it's not just about how we feel. It's not about just not being sick, but it's about function. And that the brain and the spinal cord are responsible for the function of the body. And so your ability to heal is an inside-out process. I have been witness to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people healing over the last 15 years. And this is what I've learned. Healing, I'm not leaving yet, don't worry. Healing is a universal law. A universal law is a law that's true whether you believe it or not, anywhere you are on the planet. The universal law that you're most familiar with is the law of gravity. If I drop these keys here, or in New Zealand, or in New Mexico, it will fall to the ground. And healing is the same way. Like if your body didn't have this ability to heal and recuperate, like none of us would be here. I mean, we've been walking the planet for thousands and thousands of years. So God, nature, whatever you believe in, gave us this internal ability to heal and recuperate. Well, Dr. Larry, if everybody's supposed to heal, it's automatic, then why are there so many people sick and suffering? Why aren't the keys falling? You can interfere with a law. How does a plane get from here to San Fran? You can interfere, you can overcome the law of gravity very, very easily. You can overcome your body's ability to take care of itself very easily. You can interfere with it. So remember the shedding of weight so the hot air balloon can go off? Most people are looking to add something in to get well, when usually we have to remove something. So I'm going to teach you chiropractic in 4 sentences. Your body is self-healing and self-regulating. Your nervous system is responsible for self-healing and self-regulation of the body. If something was interfering with your nerve system, would you be healthier or sicker? The chiropractor removes nerve interference, period. Huh? What about headaches, back pain, neck pain, fibromyalgia, vertigo, asthma, all these things that, people come into a chiropractic office for? People come as a result of their symptoms. They get better because we remove interference into the system, into the nervous system. Your nervous system is everywhere. It is the core of your existence, is your nervous system. Your brain and your spinal cord run your body. The main switch for the whole deal is right here in the upper neck. Think of Christopher Reeves. He injures his upper neck at C2, the second cervical vertebrae. He severs his spinal cord. And the message is, you guys get this, the message is couldn't get through. So did he have a neck problem and a headache? No. He lost the function, the ability to adapt of his entire body because his life force couldn't get through. Now, what if you had nerve interference or nerve pressure or misalignment or subluxation, whatever word you want to call it, at the same area as Christopher Reeves, but to 1/100th of a degree? He lost his legs, he lost his breathing, he lost his ability to ambulate, and ultimately he lost his life way earlier than he should have because of that tragic day. Your nervous system is everywhere. If I were to strip away, I always got, how am I going to do this to you, sir, because we just met. If we're going to strip away all Bob's muscles and tendons and ligaments and pull out the bones, you're still going to see the outline of Bob there, because your nerves are everywhere. In fact, if you don't believe me, take your fork and start poking. Anywhere you feel it is a nerve. It tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your stomach to stomach, and your spleen to spleen, without you even thinking about it. Could you imagine, Jared, if we had to tell our heart to beat? We'd have to hire somebody, we're so busy, right? Your nervous system is the core of your existence. You live your life through your nervous system. Everything you see, touch, smell, the sensory integration of your world filters through your nervous system. If you have interference in your nervous system, you don't even perceive your world and environment correctly. If you have interference in your nervous system in your upper neck, it can cause headaches, migraines. It can affect the facial nerves called trigeminal neuralgia. It can create vestibular or balance or vertigo issues. It can affect the ability for the sinuses and the ears to drain. God knows we've had so many children avoid tubes. If you have nerve interference in the mid-cervical spine, it can affect your thyroid gland. The ladies with hypothyroid always have C5, C6 degeneration. Always. 100% of the time. It can affect the ability for those nerves to run down your arms. It can present tingling or weakness or pain. If you have a subluxation or nerve interference in the upper thoracic spine, this area right here, those are the nerves, gentlemen over 50, that innervate your heart and your lungs. If you have nerve interference in the middle of your spine, those are the nerves that come around and they go to your stomach, and they can produce too much stomach acid, create reflux in babies that were just born doing this, and they give them Zantac, and then they get ear infections, and they get tubes, and they get more antibiotics, and they have sensory issues. We help them. We help those little babies. If you have nerve interference in your low back, it can affect your gut, your bowel, your bladder, your prostate, your digestive organs, your cycles. It can affect the power to your legs, your ability to walk, cause burning, numbness, tingling in your legs. Do you see these are all symptoms that have a medication that's attached to it? But if you treat the fruit, you don't get the root. So when you get your blood work back, and 50% of Americans over 50 are on 5 drugs or more, and they get their report card back, it's a report card. It's the same thing we got in grade school. And everything's normal. Sometimes the medications work too well at covering up the problem, because it's literally like taking a beach ball and pushing it down. And again, I would never, ever, 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 ever tell a patient not to take a medicine that was prescribed to them. That is not my job. I am not a medical doctor, and again, I don't have a horse in that race. But this is the way I see it. If your house is on fire, who do you call? The fire department. What do they have? No, don't call me if your house is on fire. I just got my hands and my heart. That's all I got. You call the fire department. They got the tools. They got axes and hoses. They come in with an axe. The drugs in their surgery. It's a metaphor. Axes and hoses. So they go through your front door. They bash through it. They take their hoses and they hose down your couch and your flat screen and your new kitchen and your Mac, and they bust through the living room door and they hose down that room, and hopefully if they got to your house in time with their axes and their hoses, they saved your house. The next day, after the fire is put out, who do you call? Exactly, the insurance company, because they're going to bring the contractor in to help you rebuild. You don't call the fire department back and say, hey, can I get some more axes and hoses, please? But that's what we do. And that's how 1 becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 4, becomes 5 medications. And 1 surgery becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 4. My next door neighbor's an anesthesiologist, and we had him over, and he said, this is what we know. 30% of back surgeries fail, 30% no change, 30% get better. God, the placebo is 30%. Well, just give him a sugar pill and hope for the best. Right? 30% end up with a second surgery. So 160,000 visits later, we've seen less than 10 go to surgery in 14 years. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So the contractor has a nail gun, a ladder, a paintbrush. We have different tools. So the fire department, they're looking at us and they're going, you can't put out a fire with a nail gun, you crazy? We're over here going, we don't put out fires with nail guns. These houses aren't spontaneously combusting. We want to get into the house before, teach the homeowner about fires so that they don't just show up. We want to check the foundation, check the electrical wiring, check the plumbing, and empower that homeowner to never have a fire. Isn't that a great strategy? So in this country, are we getting healthier or sicker?
Sicker.
Wow, there's not any debate on that. Let's just move on. World Health Organization, we're number 50 in the world in healthcare outcomes. 2/3 of our population are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, which means they're going to spend $250,000 more in the healthcare system and live 8 years less. 50% of bankruptcies in this country are due to health expenses, according to a Harvard study, and the majority of those people had a college education. What you can't afford in this country is you can't afford to get sick. We spend 18% of our gross domestic product on healthcare. So that means every time you pay your Verizon bill, go to the movies, or drink a Starbucks, 18 cents on the dollar goes to paying for the medical expenses of the employees of that company. So we're all paying for it. So we've got the biggest and best health institutions in the world, beyond a shadow of a doubt. We spend twice as much as the next closest country, but we rank 50th. So my argument is not that we need more axes and hoses, we need more people less sick. And that's why I'm here tonight, instead of being with my family. Because whether I adjust you one day or not, I could say one thing tonight that makes you just change the whole way you look at things. And that would be amazing. That would change everything for you. So what happened with Stephanie? How did her body actually come back and heal? There's a big difference between traditional chiropractic and upper cervical chiropractic. And let's say you buy this whole thing that I'm teaching you tonight, that this misalignment interferes with your nervous system and it decreases your body's ability to express itself and heal itself. What is this misalignment? In chiropractic, we call it a subluxation. Can you guys humor me and just say it back? Subluxation. Thank you. It just feels so good for chiropractors to hear. Because you don't hear it anywhere else you go. That's the chiropractic $10 word for stress. Anybody got stress? Nobody in here has got stress. Well, stress comes in 3 forms: physical, chemical, and emotional. Nobody got physical stress because you all work out 5 to 7 days a week, have a Pilates reformer in your living room, a trainer named Ralph, and you're never looking down at your cell phone. Okay? And you don't have chemical stress, or I should say we don't have chemical stress, because we all live in New Jersey, breathe the clean New Jersey air, drink the clean New Jersey water. We're never exposed to any chemicals, insecticides, or pesticides, or medication prescribed or over the counter. And emotional stress. Are you married? Do you have kids and finances and the news and all these things? All of these things are affecting our nervous system and putting us into a chronic state of fight or flight. And according to the CDC, 90% of chronic health illnesses in this country are due to unrelenting, unchecked stress. The upper cervical adjustment is the safest, gentlest, and most effective way to shut off that fight or flight response and turn on the parasympathetic nervous system, where your body needs to heal. If you're having trouble healing, you cannot be in fight or flight and heal. That's like having your foot on the gas and the brake. You just don't go. It's physiologically impossible for the human body to be in a state of survival and defense and growth at the same time. A body can't do it. A relationship can't be in defense and growth. A family can't be in defense and growth. A country can't be in defense and growth. And a world can't be in defense and growth. You can take it to the micro or the macro. This is the truth. The chiropractic adjustment shuts off that defense mechanism of the body. Most of you who have been adjusted, probably about half the room, have gotten up after the adjustment, done this unconsciously. And that's the shift. That's called downshift. And that's where you heal from. So there's a really unique vertebrae at the top of your spine. Who knows its name? Atlas! Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. When I got my first car, I put a vanity plate on there, and it said C1 Atlas. I don't know. It's back when I had an ego, I guess. And it was terrible. And at my wedding, my best man, my brother-in-law, gets up there and says, "Did you see Larry's car? It says Cialis on his license plate." We got rid of that, really. So yeah, there's a human being in here, I promise. So the Atlas, not Cialis, the Atlas is really unique. It holds up your world. It holds up your world. It holds up the skull. And right through that hole is where your brain meets your spinal cord. It's your brain stem. And what's really unique about the Atlas is it doesn't have the funny discs in between it. Those discs, those shock absorbers, and it doesn't have the interlocking joints that the rest of the spine has. And the reason why God made it that way is because it spins 180 degrees on the axis. And right now, my friend over here, I'm really worried about your neck because you've been looking at me for 30 minutes like that. Turn the chair around. I say that because I care, or I can just look at it and just let him suffer. I'm not going to let him suffer. So when we look at the Atlas and its uniqueness, when's the first time this can misalign in our life? Birth. Why? Because if you've ever held a newborn, their head is all floppy, right? They don't have the muscles, tendons, and ligamentous strength to hold their head up. Yet the day before, right? And for those of you who've seen like the video or been there, like it's a lot of force. That's the first misalignment. After the APGAR is done, and after the baby latches and is checked and is safe and is warm, like doesn't it make sense, since that nervous system is running the growth and development of that child, to make sure there's no misalignment or nerve stress in the upper neck? Absolutely. And what's really unique about this vertebrae, because it's not locked in and because it's so freely movable, it doesn't take a lot of force to adjust it. I'm 180 pounds. Huelu is 82 years old. I had the distinct honor of adjusting this lady today for the first time. And she got off the table and said in Mandarin, "That's it. That's it." It's that gentle. We've adjusted Wyatt, 4 years old. We've probably been adjusting him since he's 3. Gentle, light, no cracking, popping, twisting. So how is it going to work up here going to affect me down here? I got a bad back. It's all connected. It's one organ. If your doctor gives you medicine in your butt, he's not a butt doctor, right? The medicine goes everywhere, right? I just feel like this is great about being in New Jersey. I kind of like tone it down a bit like But in all seriousness, like we put the adjustment in there, it goes up to the brain and down to the little toe. And so this is what happens in your life. You have had accidents, injuries, traumas, physical traumas. Let's say you played football and you had that big hit and you got knocked off to this side. Or let's say you got in an accident and you slammed into the passenger window and your body went like this. You don't walk around like this. The brain, after it collapses, it compensates. And then what the body does, because there's a thing called gravity, 2,000 pounds per second on our body. You know that astronaut that went out to outer space for a year, Scott Kelly? He came back 2 inches taller. Gravity is constantly, you're all worried about gluten and the flu and Zika virus. You know what you got to worry about? Gravity.
We all know that. Yeah.
No, that wasn't the joke part. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Your body can go this way, your body can go this way, your body can go this way and this way. Where can it go? It can't go into the ground. So think about what it does. It spins. And it's like a can of soda. You press down and it collapses, but you twist it a little bit and the whole thing just collapses. And so I call it the grandma effect. That's the process. It wasn't an event, it was a lifetime process. When's the best time to intervene in this process? Your posture is the app in your body that uses the most energy. 90% of your brain's energy goes towards maintaining yourself upright. This body has a higher energy expenditure than this body. And according to the Journal of Neurosurgery, January 2017, volume 25, if the body has a kyphosis in the thoracic spine, it is correlated to mortality. Not morbidity and illness, mortality and death. Because as your spine compresses, it puts pressure on your stomach, your heart, and your lungs, and raises your blood pressure. This is a life story that we're telling here. And our work is the only work in chiropractic, the only work, and I've studied all the techniques, that doesn't push into a compressed spring. You're already compressed. Why would we push into it? It needs to be released. It needs to be released. And so we release the spine through the upper neck with the procedure that we do called quantum spinal mechanics 3. It doesn't matter what it's called. What matters is many of the chiropractic techniques haven't changed in 40 or 50 years. This is the most research approach in chiropractic. For those of you who have been our patients for at least 10 to 12 years, you've seen our adjustment morph and change as everything in healthcare has morphed and changed. Could you imagine if Apple, when they created their iPhone, stopped and just said, okay, we're done. No, you're getting a new phone every 18 months now, and our work, as we learn more about the mechanics of the body, is morphing and changing, and there is nobody in town that is looking at the spine the way that we're looking at it. And I'd say the whole state. I'd be bold enough to say that. So it's very unique, it's very gentle, it's very safe, it's full spine approach. We take full spine x-rays, and we see full spine changes like we did in Frank, who we just took his follow-up x-rays after several months of care. So it's life-changing. And so there are two patients here that want to share their experiences. They're not public speakers, they're just like you and me, regular peeps, that were brave enough and had, first of all, for those of you who are patients that brought guests tonight, can I just get a round of hands for you guys? Because here's the deal. It takes courage. It's a lot easier to not say something once you know it, right? It's a lot easier to just not tell this young man to turn around and not hurt his neck. But it takes courage for me to stop the talk and ask him to turn around. It took courage, Joe, for you to invite 4 people here tonight. And I think that's amazing. And that shows how much you care. You say, this has helped me and my family so much, and I care so much about you, my neighbor, that I'm going to share this with you. And I just want to acknowledge that. And so I'm going to ask 2 people to come up. They're just going to talk for a few minutes. They're going to tell their experiences. I have no idea what they're going to say. But I love them dearly, and I'm so grateful that you are going to speak. Do we have a handheld, Greg? Awesome. So,
It's on.
the first person I'd like to call up is Linda.